The Golden State Warriors are reaching a breaking point with Jonathan Kuminga, and this saga has started to dominate every conversation around the franchise. What began as a straightforward contract negotiation has turned into a distraction that is weighing heavily on the team's core. Even ownership has tried to step in and sort things out, but nothing has been resolved. Joe Lacob himself flew out to Miami to sit down with Kuminga and his representatives in hopes of figuring out a path forward, but the talks went nowhere. And now, with training camp right around the corner, frustration is spilling into the open. Reports suggest that Jimmy Butler, of all people, has chimed in on the matter, pushing the Warriors to make a decision. Butler essentially told them what everyone else has been whispering. Either sign Kuminga or trade him, but stop wasting time. When veterans of the league start voicing concerns like that, you know the patience of the locker room is running thin. If Butler is vocalizing his displeasure, it is safe to assume that leaders like Stephen Curry and Draymond Green share the same sentiment. For a team that prides itself on chemistry, this kind of uncertainty is toxic. Winning championships requires everyone to pull in the same direction from day one. Steph made that clear not long ago when he subtly hinted at Kuminga to just focus on playing basketball and not let the noise get in the way. In other words, the team cannot afford distractions. And right now, Kuminga's standoff is exactly that. The Warriors are built to compete now, not 3 years down the line, and any player who does not share that urgency becomes a liability. The writing is on the wall. Either the front office makes peace with Kuminga by giving him what he wants, or they move him while his value is still high. The problem with dragging this on is that the roster is still incomplete. The Warriors currently have multiple spots open, including two-way slots, and cannot afford to miss on opportunities in free agency or the trade market while they wait for Kuminga's decision. They need players who can bolster the bench, give the starters a breather, and fit the mold of potential future starters if injuries arise. Every day that passes without clarity is another day wasted. Other franchises will soon face roster crunches, cutting solid veterans or fringe starters, and the Warriors should be in a position to scoop them up. But they can only act once they have dealt with the Kuminga question. From the team's perspective, trading Kuminga to the Eastern Conference would be the smartest route. No one in the Bay wants to see him suit up for a direct rival like the Kings or the Suns and potentially turn into the player everyone believes he can be. Sending him east avoids that risk while still giving the Warriors something of value in return. A few scenarios stand out. The Wizards, for instance, are stuck in limbo with no clear direction and could be enticed by a young forward with upside. A deal involving Kuminga for a promising player like Cam Whitmore would give Golden State a younger prospect who fits their timeline better. Another possibility is the Hornets, where Kuminga could slide in alongside LaMelo Ball while the Warriors take back someone like Miles Bridges, whose contract lines up neatly with Golden State's long-term financial planning. The Sixers are a long shot, but they should not be dismissed entirely. Daryl Morey has said repeatedly that he wants win-now talent around Joel Embiid. And while Kuminga might not be the perfect fit, the Warriors could explore creative packages that bring back someone like rookie VJ Edgecombe or other young assets who could grow in Steve Kerr's system. Atlanta is another team worth mentioning, since the Hawks are eager to remain competitive in the playoff picture. The point is, the Warriors do have options if they're serious about moving on. The key is to avoid panic and make sure the return strengthens the bench, fills specific needs, and does not clog the salary cap beyond 2027, when the team reportedly wants to position itself for a superstar chase. What complicates matters further is that Kuminga's behavior has started to rub people the wrong way. Instead of being seen as a developing talent waiting for his breakout moment, he is increasingly viewed as someone playing hardball with an organization that has already proven it can win championships. That does not sit well with veterans like Draymond Green, who is known for his no-nonsense approach, or Steph Curry, who has carried the franchise for over a decade. The sense around the league is that Kuminga is quickly running out of goodwill, and the Warriors may be better off cutting ties now rather than waiting for the situation to sour completely. Addition by subtraction is not always ideal, but in this case, it could re-energize the team the same way last season's late surge did after they shook up the roster. Meanwhile, the Warriors are still monitoring other moves to fill out their squad. The signings of Seth Curry and Al Horford already added depth and experience, but more needs to be done. Names like Kelly Oubre and Buddy Hield have been floated as possible targets, both of whom could give the team reliable outside shooting and length on the wing. Even role players stuck on crowded rosters, like Malcolm Brogdon or Alex Len, could become available once other franchises are forced to trim down to the regular season limit. Golden State has trade exceptions at its disposal, which gives them additional flexibility to absorb contracts without having to sacrifice too much. That kind of creativity is exactly what they need if they want to maximize their window while Steph is still playing at a superstar level. The bottom line is that the longer the front office hesitates on Kuminga, the harder it becomes to build the kind of balanced roster required for a deep playoff run. The championship core is sending a clear message. Enough is enough. Whether it comes through Jimmy Butler voicing his opinion or Steph's subtle remarks, the message is aligned. This group wants clarity, unity, and a focus on winning, not drawn-out negotiations that overshadow the bigger picture. For Warriors fans, this feels like déjà vu, another episode of unnecessary drama that could derail a season before it even begins. The solution is simple. Resolve the Kuminga situation decisively. Bring in players who want to be part of the chase for another banner, and restore the singular focus that made Golden State the model franchise of the past decade. Once the Warriors finally make a decision on Jonathan Kuminga, the rest of the roster puzzle should start to fall into place, and that is where things get really interesting. Golden State has been stuck in limbo, trying to balance the pressure of winning now with the challenge of preparing for the future. The core of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green has proven time and again that they can compete for a title if they have the right supporting cast. What they cannot afford is to go into training camp with unresolved drama or glaring holes in the rotation. Every year in the NBA, teams that succeed are the ones that enter camp with clarity, knowing exactly who they are and what role each player is supposed to fill. That is why the Kuminga stalemate cannot drag any longer, because it blocks the Warriors from being aggressive in other areas. Around the league, executives are already preparing for roster crunches. Talented veterans are going to be squeezed out as teams cut down to the 15-man limit, and those players will be up for grabs. Golden State should be first in line to scoop them up, but they need to have the financial and roster flexibility to do so. Imagine adding a proven shooter like Buddy Hield to the second unit, or a versatile forward like Kelly Oubre, who already knows the Warriors' culture. Those kinds of signings do not win headlines in September, but they make the difference in April and May when the playoffs demand depth. The same goes for frontcourt support. Al Horford's addition was a solid step, but relying too much on an aging veteran is risky. Picking up another big man, even on a short-term deal, could provide insurance and keep the rotation steady if injuries strike. Another factor the Warriors must keep in mind is the financial picture beyond this season. Ownership has made it clear that the goal is to maintain cap flexibility heading into 2027, when the franchise hopes to be in the running for another generational star. That means any move they make now has to be calculated. They cannot take back long-term contracts that tie their hands, and they have to be smart about who they invest in. Trading Kuminga for a player like Miles Bridges fits that logic because Bridges' deal expires at the right time, allowing Golden State to reset if necessary. On the flip side, acquiring someone with a contract that stretches beyond that window could jeopardize the long-term vision. It is a delicate balance, but one the Warriors have to navigate carefully. There is also the question of chemistry. One of the biggest reasons Golden State dominated the league in the past decade was because of how seamlessly their roster meshed. Even role players like Andre Iguodala or Sean Livingston knew exactly what was expected of them and embraced those roles. Lately, that has not been the case. The rotation has felt unsettled. Younger players have struggled to buy into the system, and the veterans have looked frustrated by the lack of cohesion. The Kuminga situation is just a magnified version of that problem. Moving him and bringing in players who are ready to sacrifice for the greater good could restore the harmony the team desperately needs. It may not make headlines like signing a superstar, but it could be the very thing that unlocks another title run. Steph Curry has only so many prime years left. He has carried this franchise for over a decade, redefining the game with his shooting and leadership. The Warriors owe it to him to maximize every season he has left at the top of his game. That means eliminating distractions and surrounding him with teammates who are locked in on the same mission. Draymond Green and Klay Thompson have been through the wars with Steph and know what it takes to win. Adding Jimmy Butler into the mix already shifted the dynamic and gave the team an edge that was visible in their late-season surge. But Butler's arrival also raises the stakes. He is a player who demands accountability and does not tolerate selfishness or indecision. The fact that he has already spoken out about the Kuminga situation shows how serious he is about setting the tone. From a basketball standpoint, the Warriors still have plenty of pieces to be a contender. Their defense looked much sharper after the trade deadline last year, and the offensive firepower has never been in question with Steph leading the way. What they lacked was depth and consistency from the bench, something that can be addressed if they use their remaining roster spots wisely. A mix of reliable shooters, defensive specialists, and high IQ veterans could round out the rotation and give Steve Kerr the flexibility he needs. The playoffs are all about matchups, and the more options the Warriors have, the better equipped they will be. The last thing they can afford is to head into a series shorthanded because of roster indecision. It is also worth mentioning how other teams are watching this unfold. Rival franchises smell blood when they see dysfunction, and if the Warriors do not get ahead of the narrative, they risk looking vulnerable. That could affect trade negotiations, free agency conversations, and even the morale of the locker room. By moving decisively on Kuminga, Golden State can flip the script and regain control. Instead of being the team bogged down by drama, they can become the team that solved the problem quickly and came out stronger on the other side. That perception matters in the NBA, both for current players and future ones who might consider joining the franchise. The overarching theme here is urgency. Time is ticking. The season is approaching fast, and every delay makes it harder to build momentum. The Warriors have been down this road before, dealing with distractions and noise, but the difference now is that their window is tighter. Steph is still great, but he will not be great forever. The same goes for Draymond and Klay. This is the time to push all in, not to waste weeks debating over one player who may not even want to be there. The message from the core veterans is clear, the opportunity in the market is clear, and the path forward is staring them in the face. All that remains is for the front office to act decisively, trade Kuminga to the East, and build the kind of balanced roster that can chase another championship. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers are swirling in the basketball world, and the latest buzz has fans and analysts alike holding their breath. Sources close to the Eurobasket circuit suggest that Dennis Schroeder, the lightning-quick guard who has been dazzling Europe with his late-game heroics, is set to make a splash in the NBA once again, this time with none other than the Golden State Warriors. The mere thought has stirred excitement across social media, where highlight reels of Schroeder's clutch performances have been looping nonstop. According to insiders, the deal is already inked, and the Warriors are quietly celebrating what could be a transformative addition to their roster. Schroeder, known for his relentless pace and uncanny ability to close out tight contests, brings exactly the kind of energy Golden State has been craving. With Steph Curry orchestrating from the perimeter and Andrew Wiggins handling wing duties, Schroeder's arrival could turbocharge the Warriors' transition game, turning them into an almost uncatchable force on fast breaks. Imagine him weaving through defenses with that signature crossover, then sinking a dagger three as the clock ticks down. Warriors fans are already imagining the highlight reels. The rumor mill suggests that Golden State sees Schroeder not just as a scorer, but as a spark, someone who can shift momentum in critical moments. Coaches have reportedly been watching his Eurobasket tapes obsessively, pointing to his late-quarter heroics as proof that he thrives under pressure. The whispers even hint that the front office is quietly preparing to adjust rotations, ensuring that Schroeder gets the minutes he needs to make an immediate impact. While nothing has been officially announced, the atmosphere in the league is electric. If this deal materializes, the Warriors could very well enter the season with a secret weapon few other teams anticipated. Dennis Schroeder, the Eurobasket closer, might just become the nightmare every opponent dreads in crunch time. And for fans, the mere possibility is enough to set tongues wagging and expectations soaring. One thing is certain. If the rumors are true, Golden State's engine is about to roar louder than ever. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.